Hey everyone, my name is David Dunbar, or the theme park evangelist. It is very late at night, so I can't really talk too loud, but you should still be able to hear me. So I mentioned in my description, because this is kind of a private live stream, that once it goes live, it's only going to be able to stay up for so long before it gets taken down. So please watch it while it's up. And that's also why I'm doing it live. So I can get as many people to watch it as possible. So basically, um, the title says it all. I am living with someone with COVID. And the funny thing is, I had a feeling when I first had the brief idea, you could say, back on Monday, January 4th. So let me kind of walk you through the entire thing in case you're new to my channel or you're lost and you don't remember me going over any of this. So, Monday, January 4th, 2021. It's a little dark in here. Let me look a little brighter. There, that's a lot better. I promise you guys, you would be able to see me a lot better in my next vlog anyway. So let me go ahead and turn off that light. So Monday, January 4th, 2021, I slept in, it was a normal Monday off, and it was a really good day actually. I had come upstairs around the mid-afternoon, and I was like, I'm really feeling like some nachos right now. So, I came up and I saw my roommate was wearing a mask. Well, my roommate's never worn a mask around the house before. And he had just got back from Dayton, Ohio. So I was like, okay, that's really strange. So, I kind of asked him what was going on. And trust me, because this is such a private issue, I'm going to try to get rid of as much private issues as possible. So I'm trying to keep it to the bare minimum. So I'm not trying to make it look like I'm just going to go around spilling all of my personal information all over the internet. So, yeah, more or less. He said he wasn't sure what was going on with him. He acted like he was experiencing flu-like symptoms. He definitely acted like he was experiencing flu-like symptoms. He's moving really slow. He even left the burner running, so I knew something was going on with him. And I contacted my HR representative right away, and I told him what happened. So I had to do a failed COVID test. And the reason why I didn't get approved for the paid time off or for any paid time off is because I was only out of work for a couple of days. I literally was out just long enough to find out that I was COVID free. So I'm like, okay, so obviously I haven't been around him long enough for me to worry about it. And because I was a lot closer to him then, I was more concerned. Also, I had never seen him acting that bad before. So I was not 100% sure, know how to act or what to say or what to think or anything like that. So when I first found out Thursday morning that I could go back to work, I was really excited. I'm like, yes, this is good. This is really good. Um, at least I'm COVID free. And at the time, I really thought that the guy did not have COVID and he was going back to work come Thursday. So I figured, well, maybe he's okay after all. Because, well, maybe it wasn't Thursday that I saw him because it was Friday. I remember Friday specifically well because Thursday I remember going to work, but he was still home, if I remember correctly. And I remember going to work Thursday. I was supposed to go clean the church, and unfortunately, it didn't happen because I literally got the email right on 10 in the morning saying I could go back to work. So I made a few calls, and I was already back at work. I started at 11:30 in the morning. I worked my entire day, and I had to be up by like 6-ish and be at work by 8 in the morning the very next day, if I remember correctly. I don't remember exactly. I know for a fact that it was either Friday or Saturday that I saw him again because, oh, yeah, that's right. I had to be in at 6 in the morning on Friday. Now I remember. So Friday, I had to be in at 6 in the morning. So I didn't get a lot of sleep. So the very next day that I even saw him was Saturday. Now, keep in mind, I haven't seen him since Monday. And of course, I didn't 100% get this information correct, everybody, because I couldn't remember offhand. So I saw him Saturday morning, and he's finally gone back to work. I'm very sure he had gone back to work the day before, but I didn't know for sure he was going back until Saturday. So, Saturday came around, and I'm like, "Oh, you're going back to work today?" He's like, "Yeah, I think I'm going to be able to make it." So I just figured he's okay by now. He's worked already one day. He's going back to work again, and I've seen him going back to work, and we're going in at the same time. He left a couple minutes before me, and then I left. And I came home later. I never saw him again for the rest of the day, and I ended up going to church the very next morning, and it was just a normal day for me. I stayed home afterwards. Actually, I went to my parents' house. I was pretty much there most of the day. I was so tired though. Saturday was just a rough day overall. Just, it happens. Saturdays can be rough. So then Sunday night came around, and I think I went to bed early that night. I was just worn out. In fact, I even fell asleep on, one of my parents' beds. I'm not going to say which one because I don't want to weird anybody out. So, I fell asleep at my parents' house for a couple of hours, and I still went to bed early. Then I was just so worn out. And the next morning, I had a lot more energy. The next day, I was in a really good mood. I was going to go hang out with my dad again. We are going to play Monopoly. I was going to go to my dentist appointment, and I called them, and I'm like, "So I'm still in my dentist appointment, right?" Because I hadn't heard from them in a while, and they're like, "Oh no, yeah, because you mentioned your roommate, so yeah, we're going to keep you at home." I'm like, "Oh, okay, no problem." So I'm thinking, well, no, I can definitely spend more time with my dad, and I'm like, "Oh, maybe we can do lunch or something." And then my dad mentioned, "Yeah, we could do lunch." We did like fast food or something. So we ended up doing some stuff around the area, and then we ended up going to pick up my brother. Then we came back, and of course, we got lunch while we were out. And once we got my brother over, he went and did some schoolwork. And after he watched Star Wars Rebels with my dad. Then my dad and I played 2 games of Monopoly. We ended up giving up on the first one. Then he creamed me on the second one. So that was fun. I was pretty much there the entire day. My brother started getting dizzy for whatever reason around the early evening. So I took him home, came back, and I pretty much was there late at night. And then, I went home. So I should note that, before I even left the house that morning, I had seen my roommate. And that's when he told me he was starting to experience COVID symptoms. Sorry, COVID symptoms. I'm not going to say what because, I don't want to go too personal. So that's when I started getting nervous. And that's when I contacted my HR representative again. And he had wanted me to do the whole COVID fail thing again. And oh, good, I got another person joining. Hello, welcome to the live stream. If in case you missed it, I've been talking. Oh, I'm sorry, you left. Oh well. Well, thank you for whoever is still watching. If it's TJ, I knew you would be here. Anyway, so yes, I did get told by the HR representative that I was supposed to fill out the whole COVID failed thing that morning, but he didn't give me a lot of information. So I was like, okay, so what do I do? How long am I going to be out for? Is it only going to be this week? Is it going to be into next week? And all that fun stuff. So I was like, I don't know right now. So I just kind of like winged it, and I went into work the next morning anyway because I really was not 100% sure. And of course, he kind of got mad at me because he had told me specifically, don't show up at work, do the whole COVID fail thing. And I basically just deliberately disobeyed him, even though I wasn't trying to do it intentionally. I just wanted more information. And, at least I had the peace of knowing that they weren't even 100% sure what to say to me. So I was like, well, I guess it's all up to me at this point. So I decided on this point, well, I was forced out of work. Then I was allowed to work again. Then I was forced out of work again. Hello, a new person for joining, talking about why I'm out of work and how I've been living with some of COVID. And then I got forced out of work again. So at this point, I decided, well, instead of relaying everything through the HR representative, I'm just going to handle everything on my own at this point. So I decided to take everything that I did have, and I started just emailing it to the third party company that had been handling everything to begin with. So I, send it all over. And this morning, like late in the morning, I called them. A coworker actually strongly recommended that I should call them at this point. And I told them the whole scenario. I told them how my roommate went in yesterday and he tested positive for COVID-19, which basically cleared everything up on my end. Why everything was looking so obvious since day one. And I was like, you know what? This makes me mad because everybody was like, oh, David, you're wrong. He doesn't have COVID. And I knew it since day one, but it is what it is. So, I was really happy that I was able to be clarified that, or get that clarification anyway, that I was right the whole entire time, but I'm not going to go rub it in anybody's faces. I'm just satisfied knowing I was right, and, I basically took all that information, all that documentation I had been getting from my doctor and then him, and then um, also I got tested twice already. I got tested 2 weeks back to back, and I sent all that over. And they sent me an email today saying that they are going to pay me from January 13th, which is today, all the way to January 26th, which is 2 weeks from today. So even though I technically had been out of work since yesterday, which is January 12th, sorry, it's too bad, at least I got my 2 hours because Meyer's really good about giving you at least 2 hours if you at least show up, which is kind of also why I wanted to come in. Plus, I wanted to do some grocery shopping. We're doing 10 for 10 for the next 2 weeks, which is a sale where a good chunk of the products that we sell, like 75% of the products that we sell, is at least $1. So, like your 2 liters of soda, your Sunny D, some of our yogurts, some of the cream cheese is that price, maybe some sour cream. And a lot of our frozen foods are only $1. It's an amazing sale. It's definitely a sale you want to stock up for. I've actually done a YouTube video on it. It's called Checking Out Meyer's 10 for 10 sale or something like that. So I walked around my store and I showed areas where they are selling stuff that is 10 for 10. And it was just a way for me to advertise my store and that sale at the same time. So I thought it was really cool. And I've also done a full tour of my store, and I showed everybody kind of what it looks like and a lot of the cool stuff that Meyer sells in just my store. And I really hit up on the bakery goods because I think that's one of the most well-known things that Meyer is really big about. Like, I really love the scoop cakes. Honestly, probably the best thing you can get in the store besides their cheese sticks and their popcorn chicken. And Meyer even does a chicken tender dinner, just like Publix. Biggest difference is you can get a chicken tender dinner and a drink for a low price of $5. So, not bad. Drink is free, of course. You have to pay for the sauces. It's too bad that I'm not going to be able to enjoy some of those things for the next 12 days, but it's not like I don't spend enough money there. I can't even tell you how much money I've given Meyer over the past year and a half. Probably over $1,000, but maybe even more, maybe like $2,000. But hey, every penny has been worth it so far. And I can't even, begin to say that it's not going to stop either. And I can't exactly say that the money I've given Publix over there hasn't been worth it either. And I'm looking forward to going back to Central Florida and visiting everybody. I'm not moving back. I'm just going to go visit. And I'm definitely going twice this year, that's for sure. Next month and then October. So, anyway, basically, where I'm at right now with this whole COVID situation is all four of us, me, my brother, and my two roommates, are all stuck in the same house together. You've got my roommate who is basically stuck in one room all by himself for the next 12 days. And we have to bring him food. We have to bring him drinks. He's got his own bathroom. And we have to disinfect everything. At least I'm trying to, because one of my roommates doesn't feel as strong about it as I do. Unfortunately, I've got family that's been getting on to me, and I've got my brother who's trying to help me reinforce what they're saying. So, yeah, I made sure that I added some cleaning supplies to my Meyer pickup order. So, one thing that Meyer started doing recently is Meyer pickup. Basically, you can order a bunch of groceries online on Meyer.com, and it's select products. So some stuff you can only get in the store, and some stuff you can press add to cart, and then you pay for it, and then you go to the store itself, and you call them and you let them know, hey, I'm here, and they'll come out to the store, and to your car, I should say, and they'll bring you your groceries. So this way I don't get out of the car. That way I don't supposedly or possibly expose anybody with any germs, because I've been living in a house contaminated with COVID-19. Even though I'm COVID free, I still have to treat myself like I potentially could have COVID. So weird, right? I'm allowed to work at my church, but I have to keep to myself the entire time. The only reason why I'm allowed to work at my church is because I don't have COVID. My biggest role right now I have to follow is I can't get out of my car. And if I do go through a drive-through, I have to make sure that I try to not expose, I should say, myself as much as possible. Like, if I have to go through like the drive-through at a fast food restaurant, which I'm trying not to do right now, then I should try to like not open my window too much and try to use like Google Pay as much as possible, which honestly, that's what I like doing, because then they're not taking your debit card, and that way my phone is touching their device, which is safer, but you know how that is. My other option, if I had to go to like McDonald's or something, is I could order the food ahead of time and then pay for it, and then I could let them know when I'm there, and they'll come and bring me the food, and I could crack open the window just enough that they could give me the food. And this way, um, I don't even have to hand them the payment or anything. And I'm still paying in-store prices, so to speak. So even that would work. And also, the nice thing about going to McDonald's is at least they have that option where they'll bring you the food out. And a lot of restaurants are doing this right now, where you order the food through the app ahead of time, and then you place your order, and then you don't get charged until you actually get there. And that's one nice thing about carry out. And a lot of restaurants are trying so hard right now to do this whole we'll bring you, if you do carry out, instead of coming inside the store to come and get it, we'll be more than happy to come to your car instead and bring you the food. And another thing that's becoming really big that I would even be remotely tempted to do right now, only because of the fact that I'm in this stupid situation, and that's DoorDash. And DoorDash is so expensive, but at the same time, though, it's helping them, and it's so convenient because of the fact that you got someone that's willing to bring you food to your car. I mean, not to your car, sorry, to your house. And yes, you have to pay an arm and a leg for it, but at least you don't have to leave the house. And they'll put the food right in front of your door, and they don't even have to touch any of your stuff, which is great. So, I'm trying so hard right now to keep everybody as safe as possible just because I've been living with someone with COVID. I'm just telling you guys all the ways that I know 100% that I can try to keep everybody as least exposed as possible. Like me personally, I don't mind going through a drive-through ATM. Like personally, if I have to go through a drive-through ATM, I would bring hand sanitizer with me, and I would hand sanitize before and after I use the ATM, just because I don't want to accidentally transfer any germs that I might have to the ATM. So at least at the drive-through ATMs, you don't have to see anybody, you don't have to touch anybody, and you don't have to go inside the store. And you stay inside your car, which is even better. So my aunt may not know that we have all these conveniences. I mean, she should, because this is America, which is the country of conveniences. So it's very easy to live here and not have to deal with people. And if you're antisocial, or even an introvert for that matter, being quarantined for 2 weeks should be amazing. And honestly, right now, I'd be having a lot harder of a time right now if it wasn't for the fact that I have three other people in the same household as me, and at least one of them is my brother. And honestly, it feels more like I'm only living with three people. Well, I should say two, because technically I'm living with three people, but it feels more like I'm living with two of them because one of them I can't even talk to unless it's over Messenger, because I can't even be anywhere near Zane, which is my roommate that has COVID right now. And then Andrew, I do talk to quite a bit, more so now, but my brother is the one I spend most of my time with, especially now that I have all this free time with him. So it is kind of nice. And he's the one I'm actually taking to Central Florida next month. Actually, a month exactly after I get back from being quarantined. So how fun is that? One of the fun things about where I work is because I live with someone with COVID, I have to be treated like I also have COVID. And unfortunately, my family's kind of treating me that way too. It's like, well, you live with someone with COVID, so we don't want to see you. We don't want to deal with you. And I have to not even show up at my church unless I'm just going to clean, which anytime I'm going to clean, I'm just going by myself. Like, I want to make sure nobody's going to be there whatsoever. Just me in the building. And I would make sure that I'm constantly washing my hands, constantly using hand sanitizer. If I have to wear gloves constantly, I'll wear gloves. Not necessarily have to wear a mask. I would wear a mask if, I'm out in public, because it's required by the state of Kentucky. But, otherwise, if, I'm by myself, I don't typically need to wear a mask. But if I'm, out in public, I would. And because I'm being quarantined right now and I'm trying to avoid people, then no, I'm not planning on wearing a mask because of the fact that the only time that I'm planning on being around anybody is in my own household, and that's it until I go back to work. That's really the only time I'm going to be around anybody. And the only people I really need to be careful around, if it comes down to it, are the people I live with. And the person I have the most concern for right now is the person with COVID. And then, of course, the other person who literally spends a lot of time with the person with COVID. So I'm also being careful around him as well. Like, you never know. He might be a carrier and he just doesn't know it. So just going with that. I'm definitely hoping and praying that the other guy doesn't catch COVID, because if he does, knowing him, I'll probably refuse to get tested, and then I would be out of work again, and then probably won't even get paid, and then there goes my vacation. So definitely don't want him to catch anything. At least we were able to convince the other guy to go get tested, because that really helped me, um, get paid. That's actually my biggest news I have for you tonight is the fact that, and I said this earlier, the fact that I had just enough documentation that I was able to get paid for the whole 2 weeks. And honestly, that to me was a lifesaver, because that's the reason why I'm still able to do this vacation. Because otherwise, I would have to contact Walt Disney World right now and see if I can even use that 2 tickets I already bought in October, and see if I can like exchange them for another day. Because I was all prepared to give them to TJ, and my dad's like, "Well, why don't you exchange them?" Like, this was if I didn't get paid for the 2 weeks, but now my dad's not too concerned about it, because I can still afford to go because I'm being paid to be out of work. And I'm going right back to work at Meyer as soon as January 27th hits. Plus, I'm still allowed to clean my church as long as I stay by myself. So, I got some things to look forward to in a couple of weeks. And I'm excited about 3 things come January 27th. Number one is just being able to work again. Like, I enjoy working. I enjoy being around my friends. I enjoy being able to be productive and work hard. I enjoy being able to be outside and getting fresh air. I enjoy meeting new people. That's all part of number one. So, number two is I get to go back to church again. I know that should be number one, but because number two um, won't affect me for about 4 more days after I go back, that's why I'm a little more excited about number one right now, because that's literally going to be the first thing that happens to me as soon as my quarantine ends, because I'm not going to be able to go back to church um, for the next 2 Sundays. In fact, I'm going to be watching it online for the next 2 Sundays. So at least I now have an excuse to watch it online, because I only live about 5-10 minutes away from my church. So normally my parents say I have to go. If I have the ability to go, then I'll go. And if I'm tired, that's not unfortunately a good enough reason. So usually Sundays I'm at church. So I literally have not watched the church service online since quarantine, for the entire country was going on. So this is going to be kind of nice. And we might be under another quarantine again if Biden shuts down the country again, which I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Excuse me. And my third biggest reason to go back. So starting next Monday, actually, we were supposed to be allowed to meet in person again for life groups, and I don't know if my other group was going to start meeting again come Sunday, but I haven't even been meeting them or with them online because I don't usually do the whole Zoom thing. That's just me personally. And that particular life group, they either do Zoom or they do in person. Alan is the only one that does Zoom or does in person and Zoom. So I do think that he is one of the few nicer people about it. And that's the one thing I do love about Alan's group is the fact that he does in person and Zoom at the same time. And I personally would rather go to his group. His group is like very meaningful. I feel like I connect better when we're in person. I feel like we have more I guess you could say that I feel like we just get along better when we're in person. I feel like there's more sentimental value. I feel definitely a stronger connection in person. I mean, the free food is nice, but I also feel like I can be more open when we're in person too. And then I love hanging out with Alan after Bible study and just being able to just talk and hang out. And I know Alan completely relates to me on all that stuff. So if you guys remember from my Cincinnati Zoo vlog, that's the guy who I'm referring to. He's the one that invites everybody over to his house on Monday nights, and we just hang out. The church pays for us to have food. They're the same guys that I work for. They're the same guys that um, bought pizza for us on at the zoo, and they're the same guys that buy food for us every single Monday night. Like my church is pretty cool. There's no doubt about it. So that's pretty much it. I'm definitely looking for those three things. And, because I'm going to be out of work for the next 12 days, definitely expect more vlogs from me. As I said before, because I'm or I'm stuck at home as well as everybody else, the time of my vlogs is going to kind of vary throughout the day. So don't expect my vlogs to come out at a certain time. It's just going to happen whenever, every single day. But this will be a perfect time for me to get a lot of vlogs done. I'm just really happy I can be productive. Like, I got a lot done today, like more than I expected. It's actually already after midnight, so it's technically Wednesday already. Anyways, guys, make sure if you haven't seen this vlog, it's going to be my first vlog that you see if you're a returning subscriber. And also, I have published on my YouTube channel my newest Maniac Mansion alternate ending video. So make sure you check that out as well. Until then, I will see you guys in the next vlog. And always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great night. Peace out.